Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Saturday, March 27th. We're going to be talking about some NBA DFS picks on both DraftKings and FanDuel for today. But before we get started, I'm going to take a quick look back at yesterday's picks and see how they turned out. So I did put in the updated lines for this, and on the DraftKings side we had Jalen Brunson, $4,600. Looking for 23 points out of him. Luka Doncic obviously didn't play last night. Thought he'd be pretty good, but ended up with 16.5, so he was a miss. Then we had Nickeil Alexander-Walker for $5,300, looking for about 26.5, 27 points out of him. Got to 36.25, so he was definitely a hit. Then at small forward, Dwayne Bacon, $4,800. Magic team very, very depleted yesterday. Looking for 24 out of him. He got to 31.75, so he was a hit. Then his teammate, Ken Birch, it was $4,400. You're looking for 22 points out of him. He blew it out of the water, over 10 times value, 52.25 points. So that was a massive, massive hit right there. Then last but not least, Robert Williams, $6,400, looking for 32 points out of him. Got to 41.25, so he's definitely a big hit as well. So pretty solid day for the DraftKings core. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Jalen Brunson once again, $4,500, looking for about 23 points out of him. Got to 14.8 on the FanDuel side, so he was a miss. CJ McCollum, $7,500, looking for about 38 out of him. Got to 38.5, so he was a hit. Dorian Finney-Smith, $3,900, looking for 19, 20 points out of him. Got to 18, so he was a miss, but probably a miss that didn't kill you too bad overall. And then at power forward, we had Kristaps Porzingis, $7,500, looking for 38 points out of him. Got to 58.1, so that was a pretty big hit right there. Then last but not least, that last game of the night, Jared Allen, $6,700, looking for 34 points out of him. Got to 39.7, so he was a hit as well. So pretty solid day overall on both sides, minus the Jalen Brunson. But with that being said, we'll get into today's games, kind of talk about the injuries that are in play for today. So the first game is the Knicks and the Bucks. Alfred Payton, game time decision. He's likely to play. Reggie Bullock is a game time decision. He did not play the last time out. Keep an eye out on him. Keep an eye out on Julius Randle, game time decision as well. If those guys don't play, you could see guys like RJ Barrett, Alex Burks getting more playing time, getting more minutes, getting more usage. Derrick Rose could be back in this one as well. The guys that got in trades, I'm not really too concerned about for them. So nothing too crazy there. Nerlens Noel might end up missing once again, but I don't think it makes too big a difference at this point in time. Then for the Bucks, obviously the ones that we're looking at is PJ Tucker and Bobby Portis, get both game time decisions. If they both don't play, we could ride the Pat Connaughton train a little bit again. I played him last night as kind of a pivot play in some of my GPP lines. You know, guy that was going to be like 1% owned, and if you get lucky and you hit the 30 points out of him, that's really something that could differentiate your line. Then for the Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr., game time decision. He did not play yesterday, so we'll see if he plays today or not. Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk are both game time decisions. We'll see if they end up playing. Obviously, they were recently traded to the team. If Kelly Olynyk does play, he's only $3,500 on DraftKings. He could be a decent play if he gets the minutes. Then for the Timberwolves, they get Malik Beasley back now. Still priced up quite a bit on the DraftKings side. FanDuel is a little bit more reasonable. Hard to know how much usage he's actually going to get in this game. Probably going to be in that starting lineup, but we'll just have to see. Josh Okogie is still a game time decision. Then for the Pistons, Dennis Smith Jr. is a game time decision once again. We'll see if he plays or not. Otherwise, it's just Hayes and Okafor, who have both been out for a while. Then, obviously, on the Wizards side, we got Ish Smith and Davis Bertans out once again. Bradley Beal's a game time decision. I believe he's got like a sore foot sprain, something like that. Not the most fun thing to play through. I don't think he's going to be a good play if he does even play. But if he doesn't play, you could be seeing Raul Neto in that starting lineup. Maybe Garrison Matthews moves over to the 2 spot. Maybe they start Denny Advia even. So there's going to be a little bit of value there if he does end up missing. Then we got the new look Bulls team, essentially. So Daniel Tice is out, and Zach LaVine is a game time decision. If Zach LaVine does not play, it opens up a little bit of opportunity here. Maybe that's a little bit of opportunity that Vucevic can take advantage of on his new team. Then for the Spurs, Bates Diop and Lonnie Walker are both out, so no major changes there. Then for the Mavericks, we got quite a few guys that we're looking at. JJ Redick's out. Kristaps Porzingis, game time decision. Luka Doncic, game time decision. Melly's a game time decision. Not too worried about him, though. Same thing with Terry and Willie Cauley-Stein. So the big ones here are obviously Luka. He missed last night. We'll see if he misses again today. And then Kristaps Porzingis game time decision on the kind of back-to-back. We'll see if he ends up playing. If they both don't end up playing, I think Jalen Brunson's definitely in play. Richardson's probably in play. Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably in play. It opens up a lot of value there. Then for the Pelicans, Lonzo Ball's out once again. So Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to be a good play once again. Eric Bledsoe could get some more usage as well. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, all these guys get a little bit of a bump up. Wes Amandu, James Johnson, both game time decisions. Doesn't really matter if they play or not. Then we got the Celtics once again. Tristan Thompson, Romeo Langford are both out. Semi Ojeleye and Evan Fournier are both game time decisions. Keep an eye out on this one too. I do not expect Kemba Walker to play on the back-to-back. He really hasn't played on back-to-backs at all this year, so just keep an eye out on that one. Oklahoma City, obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out once again. Austin Rivers, Tony Bradley, Darius Bazley, Josh Hall are all game time decisions. So not too many changes there from the last time out. We'll see if some of these new guys are able to play or if Bazley gets back into the lineup. Then the Grizzlies are exactly the same as yesterday. Utah's exactly the same as yesterday. The 76ers, Joel Embiid's still out. George Hill is a game time decision. I don't think he plays. I don't think he's close to playing, honestly, but who knows. You're going to see Dwight Howard get a big bump up. You're going to see Mike Scott maybe in that starting lineup at that center position once again. So if you want to go punt play with Mike Scott, go right ahead. Then for the Clippers, we're obviously looking at Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Morris. I think Kawhi plays in this game. Morris, not quite as sure about. Obviously, you got Patrick Beverley and Serge Ibaka, Jay Scrubb all out once again. And then newcomer Rajon Rondo is a game-time decision. So if Rondo and Kawhi don't play again, I think Terrence Mann is definitely a great option. Once again, $3,900 on DraftKings. Then last but not least, the final game of the night, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Sacramento Kings. So obviously the big one we're looking for, the Cavaliers, is if Sexton's going to play or not. All these other guys are listed as game time decisions, but I don't think any of them plays. Maybe Hartenstein, since he's the guy that just got traded over. But otherwise, I don't see too many other options that are going to play there today. I don't think they're going to be back at least. Then for the Kings, obviously Marvin Bagley's still out. DeLon Wright could end up playing in this game. Terrence Davis, Mo Harkless, all these guys that they just traded for. Not too interested in any of them, though. Otherwise, the starting lineup's pretty much the same as it's been. But that's a quick little rundown on the injuries and kind of news for today. As always, I'll be leaving news updates as well down below as they come out throughout the day, as well as the starting lineups. We get moved over to DraftKings, though, and talk about my picks over there. So at that point guard position, we got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, $5,300, looking for about 26, 27 points out of him. He gets a big bump in usage when Lonzo Ball is not out there. He's a pretty decent fantasy point per minute producer, so definitely a guy that's in play for today. Definitely a guy that gives you that 30-point or more upside like we saw yesterday. Then Ben McLemore, this guy is my boy. So rule number one for Craig. Anytime Ben McLemore is able to be played, I always play him in at least one line. If you guys don't know, I'm a big-time Kansas fan. Ben McLemore is probably one of my favorite all-time Kansas Jayhawks, so anytime I get to play him in DFS, I'm going to be able to do it because he's a very streaky player, so he gives you that big upside, but he also comes with a big downside because if his shot's not going down, he's not going to give you a lot of points. We saw last night he went over 30 DFS points, so definitely a guy, if you're getting that 30-point upside for $3,200, if he's in that starting lineup once again against the same team that he did well against yesterday, why not play him? Then at small forward, we have Danny Green. He is $4,700 looking for 23, 24 out of him. Been playing very, very well lately, so maybe that continues again against the Clippers today. No small forward options really stood out to me today, so I just went with somebody that's kind of a cheaper price. There's probably going to be a different value pick that kind of moves him throughout the day, though. Then at power forward, I went with Giannis. $10,800. Coming off a bad game last night, only had like 33, 34 points or so. So I think a lot of people are probably going to be off him, even though it's Giannis and people flock to him in general anyways. But, if you can get him where he's at lower ownership, and if Julius Randle doesn't play in this game, it's going to even make him look even better, honestly. Then last but not least, we got Dwight Howard. Kind of talked about him a little bit with 76ers. Probably not going to start, but, you're looking for about 28 points out of him. I think he can get you to 30 pretty easily on tonight. He's just going up against Zubac, so I don't think it's a matchup that he should be too afraid of. I know he did burn us the last time out because he got ejected after the first quarter. That's kind of a fluke thing, and I don't really think that's going to happen again. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 guys, you have $20,400 left over, $6,800 per player. So definitely some room to spend up for a guy, like a high-priced guy, maybe a Russell Westbrook, or, if Luka plays, you could go up to him, Karl Anthony Towns, people like that. Or you can kind of spread the wealth out. So just a little bit of different options there for you. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So we're going to start out with point guard position, John Wall, $8,200. You're looking for about 41 points out of him. Goes against the Timberwolves. Should be a very good matchup for him. He's pretty much the last guy in town. I know Christian Wood's there, and they got Ben McLemore taking some shots, and Sterling Brown and Jayshawn Tate, but John Wall's the best player on that team, and it's not even close. So he is going to be out there taking his shots. If he's making his shots, he's definitely going to pay off for a DFS. Just the one thing to keep in mind with him, sometimes he doesn't play back-to-back, so if he doesn't play today, then that might change things up a little bit, but otherwise not too worried about him. Shooting guard position, we're going to go back to Nickeil Alexander-Walker, $5,300. Pretty much what I said on DraftKings, he's been playing more with Lonzo Ball out, very efficient, very good points per minute producer. If you guys want to go with a different option here, you can also go with Marcus Smart. Kemba Walker's probably not going to play in this game, so he should get a bump up once again. Then we'll move to small forward, and we got Rui Hachimura, and he's $5,700, looking for about 28, 29 points out of him. Been playing really well lately, goes against the Pistons, so it should be a very good matchup for him. If Bradley Beal doesn't play in this game, he's going to be that, secondary scorer, so I think that really helps him out quite a bit as well. Then power forward, we're going to go with the pay down option here, and that's Maxi Kleber, and he's $3,800. Looking for about 19 points out of him, average of 19.4 on the season. So just a cheap pay down guy to open up some value elsewhere. Then last but not least, we got Robert Williams, $5,600. Seems a little bit underpriced if he is starting once again. If he gets that 27 minutes or so like he did last night, he's definitely a guy that could smash in this spot for $5,600. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you have $31,400 left over. Just over $7,800 per player, so definitely some room to pay up for some guys, pay down for some guys. But with that being said, these are my DFS picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, March 27th. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. As always, I'll be listing all the news and starting lineups down in the comments below. And with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Definitely helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams. Talking all the different football news this offseason. Going to be covering some fantasy baseball and some baseball news as well as we move forward into baseball season. And then last but not least, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. And with that being said, I post up daily NBA DFS videos like this. And then, like I said, going to be posting some fantasy baseball and some fantasy football content as well. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very well in NBA DFS tonight. And as always, if you guys have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to ask. Definitely here to help you guys out the best that I can. And then last but not least, a special little shout out to each and every one of you watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It definitely means a lot to me. And I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.